Stage 5 of Paris-Nice was the longest of the race and the first sight of hills for the week, a whopping 227 kilometres between Gannat and Côte-Saint-André. Only 3 categorised climbs, but also not that much in the way of flat. In total, there was over 2,500 metres of elevation gain. This one hung in the balance: bunch sprint or breakaway success. Race leader Max Schachmann led the peloton off this morning, but TJ Van Garderen was not a part of it. He decided to arrange an early flight back to the USA before the country banned incoming flights from Europe. It took a while for the break to establish itself, but in the end we had 4 riders: Ryan Mullen of Trek Segafredo, Alexis Goujar of AG2R, Jan Tratnik of Bahrain McLaren, and Anthony Turgis of Total Direct Energie. And it was the Frenchman who took a maximum 3 points atop the Côte de Trèves. Whilst not as nervous as the first 3 stages, today was not without incident. A crash for Mike Woods forced him to abandon the race, and we await a medical update from his team EF Pro Cycling. Turgis also took max points on the Côte de Saint-André, making it a clean sweep for him over all 4 categorised climbs today. He and Ryan Mullen, though, would run out of legs inside the last 20 kilometres as Tratnik and Goujar pressed on in front, the Bahrain McLaren rider taking the 3 bonus seconds at the final intermediate sprint of the day. With just 2 out front, it did mean there was a single bonus second available for those behind. Dylan Teuns of Bahrain McLaren given a lead out by his team and just pipping Sergio Higuita to the line. Soon after that sprint, the first major attack from the bunch. Julian Alaphilippe, the man to make it, stage 3 winner Ivan Garcia Cortina immediately onto his wheel. They were caught, but that didn't deter De Koning, who then sent Jungels and Asgreen up the road. They had Sturven, Bilbao and Nikias Arndt for company. Behind, it was Schachmann himself doing the chasing, but he needn't have panicked. The best placed on GC was Sturven at 1 minute and 28, and he won't be posing a threat come the mountains. That counter-attack came unstuck a couple of kilometres later, but they still hadn't caught the leading duo, who held on to a 21-second advantage. 2 would soon become 1 though, as Goujar was the latest to fall off the pace, albeit a frenetic one being set by Tratnik out front. The chase behind had to start getting serious, Gilbert adding his power to it, his teammate Caleb Ewan one of the favourites for the day, but he wouldn't be sprinting at the end of it. Unfortunately, a mechanical problem at the worst possible time for the Australian. Despite the efforts behind from some of the strongest riders in the world, Tratnik, after 226 kilometres of racing, was somehow finding the power to hold them all at bay. 13 seconds his advantage as he passed under the Flamme Rouge. It was an incredible display of resilience and power from the 30-year-old Slovenian, who now had the finish line in his sights. His legs must have been burning through the incredible effort but he was putting in. 600 metres, 400 metres, 200 metres, and he was still in front. The win was within reach, one last look around and heartbreak for Tratnik, but pure joy and delight for Nicolo Bonifacio of Total Direct Energie. What a finish to the stage. Bonifacio, as you will understand, was over the moon, but you've got to feel for poor Jan Tratnik, so close and yet so far. Here you can see just how close he got to the finish line, only caught with 60 metres remaining of the stage. Fair play to Bonifacio though, that was a clear sprint win for him. It's been 2 years since Total Direct Energie won a World Tour race at this very event, but that is Bonifacio's 2nd Pro Win of the year, having already won a stage of the Saudi Tour in February. There is the top 10 from stage 5, Bonifacio taking it, another strong result from Garcia Cortina in 2nd, Sagan 3rd, whilst Barani and Hofstetter made the top 5. In the GC, there was no change. Bora Hansgrohe and Max Schachmann successfully defending his race lead, and still with the same 58-second gap over Søren Kragh Andersen. The only change in the top 10 is that Dylan Teuns is now 1 second close to Schachmann, courtesy of pipping Higuita to 3rd place at that intermediate sprint. Tomorrow, we're not into the mountains, but it is a tougher stage than today, and one that is sure not to finish in a bunch sprint. There are no fewer than 6 categorised climbs, 4 of them 2nd category, over the 162 k's between Surgay and Apt. And since Thomas de Gendt took things relatively easy today, I'm going to go for him tomorrow. Don't forget to download the GCN app if you haven't done so already, your one-stop shop for all things cycling. You can find a link to it on your screen right now.